has just started for me. I've been live for 6 hours, but for some reason, like, I'm just getting really into this, probably because we have Tatoh and Viper. So, in this game, we have Portuguese for Viper. He is playing in the yellow, of course. And then we have Tatoh. Tatoh's in the blue. Tatoh's playing as the Malay. And so we're casting 1v1s. I don't know if this is the best of anything. These are just rated games on the ladder. Tatoh, he's been doing fairly good in rated games recently, but he's up against Viper now. And Viper needs, I think, 150 more puntos to catch up to the Fat Dragon on the ladder. So I don't think Viper cares about rated points. He cares more about tournaments. But for all you Fat Dragon fans out there, Vivi is currently at the top of the leaderboard. So Portuguese for Viper versus Malay from Tatoh. Weird Civ matchup. I'm racking my brain onto how this could play out. I know that people probably want to see the Orjan Guns from Viper. I somehow doubt that. The reason I doubt that is because Orjan Guns, they can work.
20 years poggers. But
I think that Orjan Guns work better against Night Civs. Because I think if you have Orjan Guns and Pikes, it works really, really well. So perhaps not against the Malay. We'll see. We'll see. But if I were to guess, we might see Drush into Archers and Skirms for both. Then later on in the game, once a castle's more justifiable for Viper, you could mix in Orjan Guns for the meme. But yeah, I think either Scout opening for Viper into Archers or... yeah, I'm guessing Viper opens with Scouts, goes into Archers and Skirms, and then we have Tatoh go with Drush into Archers and Skirms. Just a guess, but I think it'll be close at least. So let's talk about the Malay Civ. Whoa! Did you see that boar? That was Malazing. That was weird. That boar was right. It's like the villager was stuck inside the boar as the boar was attacking. It was a glitch. But the Malay civilization is one of the most unique civs in the game right now, I'd say. They advance 80% faster to the next stage, which means that if you click up to feudal age on 25 pop, you're arriving in feudal at the same time your opponent would if they advance at 22 pop, which is essentially a 3 villager bonus, by the way, because you have less time that your TC is researching. But then with that, it is kind of awkward at the early stages of each age. And so I think the reasoning for the Drush is to give you a period in time where you're distracting your opponent in early feudal. That way it's not as awkward. So that's what I see. I talked to Dowd about this, so if you don't believe me, if you're thinking T90's an idiot, I talked to Dowd about this, and Dowd said, you should almost always go Drush into Archers and Skirms as the Malay. Oh! God, I gotta stop watching Tato's Dark Age. I thought that villager was dead for sure. Scared the crap out of me there. Of course, Malay have strong archers. Then they could always transition into Karambit warriors later on if they need that. Is that great versus Portuguese? Usually not, but it's an option. It's an option. So Tato's at Viper's base already. I should briefly point out the resource locations. Viper's main gold is awkward, but I think he could wall this. Just wall off here a bit. Few woodline options, has this gold in the back. This is perfect for a TC later. TC here, take gold and wood. Stone there. Not the best map you'll ever see from Viper, of course, but I'm sure he can work with it. Here's the Drush from Tatoh. So Drush stands for Dark Age Drush. Just going to make a few militia to distract Viper. And then it'll probably instantly click up to the next stage after.
Happy 2-month T90 less than 3 THX man. You did so much for that beautiful game less than 3.
Thank you, Chinelli, for the 2 months. Yeah, your countdown reset, didn't it? That really sucks. Like, Twitch just, I think starting in January, or maybe it's this month, they have implemented a system where if you can no longer resub, when you come back, like let's say you're a sub for 6 months, then you stop subbing for 3 months, and you come back, you can start from where you left off, which is really cool. Unfortunately, a lot of people have missed out on their streaks because of that issue, but anyway, man, thank you for the 2 months. Thank you, irrelevant person. You're totally not irrelevant. Tato's Drush catches Viper out on gold, and this is bad news for Viper. He wanted to go man-at-arms. He's been surprised by this, and now he cannot go for man-at-arms. Not only that, he could lose villagers. Viper wants to wall her in, I can already tell. Oh! Oh, nice try, Viper. Oh, you could lose another vill for trying to trap these units in. A highly successful drush for Tatoh, and now look at the top right. He's on his way to feudal age, so he's bought himself some time. He'll advance to feudal age. And he won't be that far behind Viper. He's already killed a vill and pushed Viper off gold. So, personally, and I don't mean this to be offensive to Viper, if anything this is a compliment, I get really excited when Viper falls behind in games. When Viper's ahead in games, I rarely expect him to lose that lead. So when he falls behind, I start thinking, okay, what are Viper's win conditions? What can he do to bring this back? And so I guess we should talk about that now, because Viper did fall behind there. So I think Viper should expect the Archer and Skirm follow-up from his opponent. And so he should probably add an Archer range, make some of his Skirms and Archers of his own. Tato's Archer range is on the way up right now. Yep. So this is kind of played out as I thought it might. Good thing for Tatoh is that his gold, his wood, and his stone is in the same spot, so we can easily protect it with one tower, or just keeping his army here. But that could also be a really bad thing, right? Because if he loses one, he loses all three. So I think, obviously, it depends. It depends, man. Speaking of which, before I forget, I actually have a T90 Depends emote idea. I can show you guys in between the games if you guys had any interest, because I answer so many questions with "it depends" that might be a nice idea. Can Viper kill this vill? Oh wow, look at that. The vill and the scout dies. He was close for a while there, and he finally got her. Tatoh said, "That's your birthday present. Enjoy." Yeah, I heard rumors it's Viper's birthday. Is it today? Well, I'll have to wish him happy birthday whenever it is. Oh, Viper said thought it was the Skirms last game. What a jerk. What a jerk. He's referencing the fact that Tatoh got his Skirms wrecked in the previous game. That's cool. So is Viper officially older than me now, or did he turn 27? I forget. I think he's slightly older than me. But I think, does anyone know how old he turned? I'm just curious. Anyway, Skirms from Viper. He's expecting the archers from Tatoh. Tatoh, in my opinion, made a mistake making any archers at all. Like, why, like, what would you expect from Viper here? He was pushed off gold. So making archers against your opponent's Skirms doesn't make too much sense for me. Now, if he keeps his archers alive, mixes in his own Skirms, maybe adds a stable like Viper did to him last game, he could find a way to counter these Skirms, but yeah, he needs to avoid these skirmishers for now. So he's... okay, so he's a year older than me then. Yeah, I'm 25 still. I will turn 26 in April. So Tatoh has a decision to make now, because what Viper will do is he'll mix in his own archers, and he's already doing that. So the attacks that Viper has, Tato's base would be more deadly. But look, Tatoh stuck right through! And Viper gets completely surprised. It's a birthday surprise! Look at this! Happy birthday, Viper. We knew we would surprise you. One villager goes down. Viper had a quarter of his economy in his TC there for a moment. And I believe Tatoh kept all of his weak vills alive at his base at the same time he did. Yeah, he was having to fight with vills there for a moment. Still, now Tatoh needs to be careful. Do not throw away your archers here, bud. Could probably micro them in low numbers, but Viper will address that with more skirmishers than he is. I think Tatoh should add a stable, and he has done. Okay, cool. So Tatoh adds a stable, and so now if Tatoh gets a scout to this side, he can kill these skirmishers. If he gets 2 or 3 scouts in combination with all the archers he has, Viper could be in real trouble. So this is actually really unique, because in the previous game we saw the exact same thing but flipped. Viper was in Tato's position, where he had mainly archers versus skirms, and then he added the stable. And in both games, that decision has been hidden. But the difference here is that Viper's expecting it, and Viper's adding some of his own archers in with his skirms. So then 1 or 2 scouts will not be enough. So it's the recognition of from Viper knowing exactly what Tatoh will be doing in this position without seeing it. Really strong stuff. And now he sees the scouts, and he's probably confirmed that. Meanwhile, Tatoh loops around. Tato's having a hell of a game here. He kills 2 archers from Viper. Viper has to leave his gold for the 2nd time this game, and he'll lose 2 more villagers. Is this guy gonna die, or what? He's gonna live! They're running back and forth. That's hilarious. Alright, well, Viper, meanwhile, is chasing down these 5 archers. And he should trap them, actually. And Tatoh will be looking to get his scouts forward.
You better rig me into tomorrow's community games T90 rigged.
Well, on the bright side for Tatoh, a lot of Viper skirms are distracted by this. And another good thing for Tatoh, and you guys might see this as a bad thing, but it's actually quite a good thing for Tatoh that he forced a tower out of Viper. Because now Viper can't tower anywhere else. When in the Castle Age, Viper will need more stone before building a TC. And what a play from Tatoh to send more scouts over here. The skirms are exposed for Viper. Viper is behind. If you couldn't realize already, Viper is behind. What will his play be now? How does he come back from this? I think a faster Castle Age time would really help him. Hard to do against the Malay, though, since they advance faster. He really cannot push out right now. That's for sure. So he has to play defensive and maybe wait for some upgrades. He's making archer units. We know Viper likes to micro, and he'll need to in defense. Tato's looping around the right-hand side. Revenge. You gotta be careful, man. You can't say that the community games are rigged, okay? You know the drill, bro. If I say the community games are rigged on stream, people will just blow it out of proportion, and then on Fridays, we'll have a riot. We can't have that, man. We can't have that. Thank you for the 9 months. We will do Kami games tomorrow. I of course, will not rig anybody. So, don't freak out, chat. I don't know if Viper can micro his way out of this one. And he realizes this is trouble. Tatoh will kill more villagers. He'll trade versus more military. Oh, man. I mean, Tatoh really should have killed at least 2 vills there. He didn't kill any, actually. Tatoh, don't lose your archers, buddy. Okay. This is trouble for Viper, if you haven't realized already. So, something to point out. When you advance 80% faster to the next stage, that's essentially a 3 villager bonus. So, the fact that Tatoh is 6 vills behind really means that he's 3 vills. The fact that Tatoh is 6 vills ahead means that he's 3 vills ahead. But it will be 6 after the whole Castle Age uptime thing. Because when your TC's idle and researching to the next stage, you can't create any vills. When you're Malay, you're researching less time so you can create vills faster. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain. It's a rather simple thing. It's hard to put it into words. Yeah, I mean, okay, so the way I explained it was wrong. He will be 9 vills ahead, but what I meant was, like, in terms of how much Viper has lost, right? Like, in how much... let's put this on hold and come back to it, okay? I made a mistake with how I explained it. My mind was going places that it should have never gone, okay? So, MVL's corrected me. Yes, obviously now that he's going to be more around 9 vills behind. It wasn't really my point, but my point is not important. Back to the game. Elite Skirm and Crossbow now for Tatoh. And Viper's heavy on stone. He wants to go for his Orjan Guns to save the day, I suppose. Or the Orjan Guns. But this is awful, to say the least. I mean, if this was my birthday present, I'd be upset. I would want a refund. Hopefully, Tatoh gave him the receipt, because this is looking pretty bad for Viper. Maybe it will be the Orjan Guns 1 TC play that saves him here. I mean, if he plays straight up with Elite Skirm and Crossbow, he's already behind Tatoh. So, you have to switch it up in some way. And maybe it'll be the castle. There it is. Now, I love how Tatoh ran in with his army. He's running back out with the army and sending in another group. but the only thing he could possibly range is the farmers here. He has to expect the castle, right? Well, he sees it now. So for those that don't know, Viper's name is Orjan. So he's been calling them Orjan Guns instead of Organ Guns. It's a strong unit. It's an underrated unit. 7 range, 16 attack. You can also repair them. So if Viper's going to go YOLO, and he might need to here, he could send villagers forward as well and start repairing them. But wow, Tatoh gets 2 more Vil picks, which puts him 12 ahead now. So I don't necessarily think that this was part of the plan for Viper, even though Viper would say, it's all part of the plan. I don't think it was part of the plan necessarily, but I think that he feels like he needs something different now, and obviously he had to go to stone anyway. So I love how Viper's distracting with this army. He fights with this one, and he runs in with this. No, Tatoh! You can't let Viper do this to you! He had a big ball of crossbows a moment ago! You saw them! They're not there anymore. Where do you think they are? Oh my god, what a throw. Oh my god. Tatoh hasn't even reacted yet. I'm speechless. I am speechless. The Vil count's pretty even now. Viper also lost some Vils here at the same time, I suppose. Viper will kill 5 more Vils on the wood line. Oh boy, that... I'm shaking my head at that. I mean, I'm sure you guys recognize this, but Tatoh saw the clump of crossbows and skirms, and then all of a sudden, all he saw was skirmishers, but he didn't expect the crossbows to be going for the counter. And Viper's about to have a Vil lead, man. Like that should have been avoided there. Meanwhile, Viper, he's living the dream. Happy birthday to him. And this game is all tied up. At least with the Vils, right? At least with the Vils. Tatoh still has a ton of military. So Viper's definitely still behind. So, I'll tell you what, chat. I know you guys well enough. If Viper was in the blue, you guys would all be saying that Viper's nerfing himself. He's making it easier for Tatoh to come back into the game. So that's exactly what Tatoh's doing, right? It wasn't a mistake. It was not a mistake. He would never make a mistake. He's nerfing himself to make this a closer game. So, yeah, as a birthday gift, whatever you want to call it, I really have to hand it to Tatoh. I'll have to make sure to play him on my birthday. It was a nice move. Really nice move. This Tatoh guy, such a nice player. So yeah, I'm just trying to analyze the fights here and see who's winning this. It's quite difficult to follow. The crossbows have the same amount of range, but they're affected by ballistics and they have the hill here. So that fight's good for Tatoh. Organ guns are also more expensive than making crossbows. But the danger is, if these organ guns get to a large mass, it's very hard to stop. You can't make siege versus them. You can attempt to make monks versus them, but that is not so easy. Now here Tatoh sits with some skirmishers. He's on Viper's gold. Oh yeah, he'll kill more villagers. And Viper's falling behind yet again, and he needs the gold access, of course, to make the Orjan guns. And Tato's been dancing out here as well. This zebra doesn't want any part of it. He's like, get me out of here, man. I wish you would have killed me earlier. But okay, now Tatoh loops around with his skirms from the other side, and can Viper keep his organ guns alive? Seems unlikely. He's about to lose 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And Tatoh, his economy is disgusting, right? But he's ahead. And Viper's economy is not any better. So I wonder if Viper would have known that he would have gotten 15 free Vil kills, or however many he had at the start of Castle Age, I don't think he would have gone Organ Guns. If he was playing this seriously, I don't think he would have gone Organ Guns. But he went Organ Guns because he was so far behind, he knew he needed something, and then he's committed to it. But at this point, it's just not really working out on their own. If you have Organ Guns and Mangonels, it can work out, because then you have Mangonels to kill the crossbows and skirms, and Organ Guns mop up everything else. But I still feel like if Viper uses them correctly, if he gets to that point where he has a crucial number of them, he'll be okay here. And again, the zebras are freaking out here, but even more so, Tato's Vills are freaking out. Tatoh needs to sort out his eco problems, man. He's on 3 TCs, but does not have a lot of food income. It's been fun to watch Tatoh micro, though. 3 villagers down in Viper's woodline. More villagers dead for him, and Tatoh just dances and runs away. Well, guys, I think if you compare the units in themselves are not comparable, but if you compare Arambai and Orjan Guns and how they play out in the meta, it's similar. Like, Arambai have 5 range, so it's even a bit worse. And if you have Arambai on their own versus massed archers, it doesn't really work. But then if you have Arambai and Mangonels, it works because your Mangonels counter the crossbows. I think Viper could use the same. But Viper will just build the forward castle and continue to collect stone from Tato's base. That's his decision here. Something that Tatoh really would be in a position to stop. He would be in a position to stop this, but he just has his crossbows on the right-hand side. Yeah, as I said, the units in themselves are not comparable, but the compositions that you need alongside the unit is similar. Like, obviously Arambai are fast, but my point is that if Viper had Mangonels here, it would work. And I think he'll add the Mangonels forward now. And Tatoh now sees the castle. So that's Tato's stone. Where's his other stone at? Back there. He really would need a defensive castle of his own to stop Viper's push at some point. Think Viper can win this. Like, these Orjan Guns snowball so quickly. Now, of course, Tato's still causing quite a bit of eco harassment at Viper's base. But this is not an easy number of Orjan Guns to deal with. And now 2 castles are creating them.
Stream hype.
Zat, I can't wait, man. I'm trying to prep everything right now. I need to get all the times confirmed, all the details confirmed, but 24-hour stream on the 22nd. Tatoh, after losing those farmers earlier, took a huge blow to his food eco. And now he'll lose his archery ranges. I think Viper can win this game with Orjan Guns. Or, excuse me, Orjan Guns. He has skirms in defense now, doesn't even need his Orjan Guns there. Tatoh has a Vill lead, but what is that giving him? It's not giving him access to anything that gives him an answer to Orjan Guns here. And perhaps he's thinking towers. Now, the hill will be helpful. The hill will be very helpful, and with towers on the hill, it can be nice. Just wonder how much of a threat this seems like to Tatoh, because if it were me and I was really scared, I would start sending more to stone. Yeah, there we go. For more towers, or potentially a castle. That zebra! This poor zebra, man! He's seen it all. His buddy just died a moment ago. How did that die, by the way? Did it get shot by an Orjan Gun? I thought it got shot by an Orjan Gun, but you can get food from it. I need an answer to that, actually, because I have some ideas for maps if you can kill Orjan Guns, or kill zebras with Orjan Guns and get food from it. I don't know what the name would be. I don't know exactly what my ideas are, but I'd figure something out. Figure something else out. Sorry. It was Tatoh farming them. Well, that's boring. That's boring. Way to go, Tatoh. Make my life boring. Okay, so you know what could work here, and Tato's going for it. Full defense with towers, because the guard towers have 10 range. The Orjan Guns only have 7. Oh, don't lose your TC. This is his imp TC. Are you kidding me? He chose this TC for imp because he figured this would be safest. And Viper's attacking this one. And not this one, not this one. This is his imp TC. Tato's going out in a counterattack. So he wants to get Arbalest, and he wants to show up at Viper's base and destroy him. That's the strategy, but he could lose his Imperial HTC. Repair it, Tatoh! Repair it! Not another birthday present for Viper. No! Oh my god. That's just heartbreaking. So, research it again, man. Okay, he switched TCs. It's fine. It's fine. He's still going to be an imp much faster than Viper ever will be. But Viper has so many of these things. They're swarming. They are swarming. But if Tatoh gets Bracer, if Tatoh gets Arbalest, if he gets Chemistry, I don't know if he can afford all this, but if he gets there, we could have a real force to fight against Viper with. But seems to me like he just still won't have an answer to this many Orjan Guns. These things are so strong, they'll kill all TCs. And thank God Tatoh's melee, because it'd probably be at risk of losing this TC. Wait, he's still at risk of losing this TC. Viper could still kill the MTC. It's a 75%. Any other Civ, he loses the Imperial Age upgrade again, but it's melee. Oh, this is going to be close. 85, 86, 87. TC's halfway down. 95, 96, 97. He'll get it. He'll just get it. If Viper had all of his Orjan Guns attacking, he might have killed it. But Tatoh just gets to Imp. Can barely afford Bracer and Arbalest. Viper has more eco behind this now, and keep in mind he is very safe. Tatoh is actually so scared about these units that he's on his way back. So again, low numbers, Orjan Guns, not that good. High numbers, what do you do against them? It's almost impossible to stop. He can probably kill the towers. He'll take the hill. I think he'll two-shot the towers. Now 3. 1. 2. Alright. 4, 3, 2, 1, whatever. He'll kill it. And Tatoh has to run. For a while there, Tatoh was running back with his army, and he seems indecisive on this. And now he's running underneath Viper's TCs. They probably thought that Viper would be prepared for this, and Viper is prepared for this with new town centers. And Tatoh's just building towers. I think Tatoh's could be dead. You have to imagine Viper will be an imp at some point, right? I guess Viper doesn't have an answer to the Arbalest right now. So Tatoh, he has this going for him. And Tatoh could possibly branch his eco out, but Viper's here with more Orjan Guns. They're everywhere. Where are Tatoh's TCs? Good question. Well, he has 1 TC. 1 single town center. Not the most efficient economy ever. So Viper's making Castle Age Elite Skirm versus Imperial Age Arbs. It can work. It can work. Viper has the economy to do this. So he might be slightly outranged, but skirmishers can kill the Arbs, and Tatoh... Oh! Viper, what did you just do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that 10, 11 Orjan Guns he threw away? Okay, this becomes a different game now. You can't do that, Viper. He just lost half of his army to the castle fire. And also, Viper does not have a lot of food income, as he doesn't have a lot of farmers, so maybe he won't be able to get to the Imperial Age. Maybe Tatoh can just hold on here. This is a really unique game, man. Viper building another castle right where Tatoh's looking to pressure. And of course, Tatoh has Bombard Cannon now. That can help versus Orjan Guns, by the way. That can be the answer, the Bombard Cannon. And Tatoh will continue to micro, use his 1 additional range to kill Vils and skirmishers. I mean, the thing is, Tatoh and Viper, they can't be very wasteful right now. They both have weak ecos for different reasons. Viper has more Vils, but he has more Vils idle. And then Tatoh, he has less Vils. So every gold unit especially cannot be wasted. And also, I think Tatoh, he's under the clock right now. He really needs to be pressuring. Oh god, that's not good. That's not good. But he really needs to be killing this castle at the moment. Viper saw the gold there and decided to camp on it just in case Tatoh would show up, and Tatoh did show up. Viper didn't build a Fitoria, right? Are you guys trolling me? No, he didn't build a Fitoria. I think you're just asking the question. But I think Tatoh will get the gold eventually. Yep, he'll kill those. Just barely. And Viper's Orjan Guns pull back to kill the Bombard Cannon. Not something Tatoh was expecting. He didn't see the Orjan Guns in a long time, though. Like, there have been a few instances in this game where Tatoh should have expected the units to arrive from Viper, and he never did. Like, that's another instance. If he didn't see the Orjan Guns in his base, he probably should have expected them to go after the biggest threat that Viper had, and that was the Bombard Cannon. So, I mean, the big one was obviously in Castle Age. Tatoh probably should have had this game won, but he let Viper waltz right into his base with crossbows. And Viper's building another castle here, which will further secure space and stone for even more castles. And Viper's back in the lead, 140 population, his Vil count climbing. His eco is more efficient than it has been in a while, and Tato's TC is gonna go up. I think. Yes, just go up. But Tatoh, he can't push this castle. He can't push the Orjan Guns. He's down to 17 military, and I don't think he has the economy to make more Arbalest. His archery ranges are under castles on both sides. These archery ranges under castles. This archery range is underneath the castle. Tato's eco is a wreck. And his arbs will probably get finished off here. So the birthday gift from Tatoh. Let Viper waltz in. It's kind of led us to this, but man, these Orjan Guns. Like Viper's mobility with the Orjan Guns, his attacks with the Orjan Guns, the fact he killed the TC was sick. Like all pretty incredible strats, and Viper, not that he needed to do this, but he'll just build some gates just to make sure that Tatoh can't run around. And now Tato's out of his hair at home, and I think that this is probably not doable for Tatoh now. Like, he will try. But I imagine the Imperial Age has got to be in Viper's near future. Has to be. Has to be. Plenty of gold for it. Really just needs the food now. And he'll sort out his eco problems. He could buy some if he wants. Look at the stone he has, man. He'll build another castle, take control of this gold. Tato's not winning in any category. He's not winning with Vils, not with military, and not with kills. So it's probably over now for Tatoh. So, if you think back, as Viper's on his way to Imp, and I assume this is the conclusion of the game. If you think back to that moment in Castle Age where Viper killed many Vils. Again, I already mentioned how Tatoh should have known that was coming, but Viper at that stage was completely behind. And there are moments in games when you fall behind where you have one or two opportunities. So like you can, sometimes it's killing your opponent's army before they get upgrades. Sometimes it's killing opponent's Vils to catch up. Like, there are less win conditions for you when you fall behind. And it's about recognizing what those are, right? And attacking them and finding them. And I said at the start of this game, when Viper falls behind, I really like to see how quickly he realizes what he needs to do. And it was a small distract, because Tatoh was chasing his army of skirms. Viper looped around with the crossbows, and that's essentially what gave Viper an opportunity to even continue playing in this game. And it's really impressive, you know, like, on one hand, it seems so freaking obvious. So I still feel like Tatoh will be kicking himself for it. But on the other hand, Viper just tends to do it, right? So if a guy makes it look easy, you can't fault the opponent, because the opponent, it might not be easy for the opponent to realize that every time. So anyway, Tatoh finally has some trebs here. He's looking to kill one of Viper's 3 castles. But I hear Viper, you know, he's making stables. He's switching into Cavalier most likely. And Tatoh, no! Man, if you're not getting horse color this late, you need to just avoid it altogether. That way the viewers never see it. Oh, that could be a huge concern. That's why he didn't have food. He's getting the Feudal Age farm upgrade at this point in time. My goodness, and Viper hits the Imperial Age. Look at the upgrades coming in for him. Let's get some T90 farms in the chat. Or some Daves in the chat, I suppose. Dave is known for that. That hurts to see, man. Again, that's a very obvious thing that Tatoh will know better with, but he probably thought he clicked the upgrade and didn't realize, like, man, Why am I refreshing so many farms? Why am I refreshing so many farms? Well, that's why, man. And I'm fairly certain now that Cavalier will probably polish off Tatoh. I probably shouldn't be saying this, right? Because the populations are actually quite even. And Tatoh, for the first time in a while, has more military. So maybe not. Like, has Viper waited too long? Switching into Cavalier. I don't know. Perhaps, like, as a caster, I try and sign off on a good note, and I felt like the last 2-3 minutes were incoming. But Viper's lost one castle, and he's about to lose another. Is this going to be the game of throws?
From Tatoh.
Viper will go Skirm and Cavalier, which should beat Arbalest, but let's wait to see. Viper has 2 relics. Remember, he has quite a few gold piles in his control. Or, yeah, he has this one. He doesn't scout at that one, actually. He doesn't have a lot of gold left, actually. But Viper, you know, his eco has been stronger. He's had map control for a while. He knows where to go. That's the scary thing about playing with Viper, when he knows exactly where to hit you. And I think he's just buying himself time. I think this is a bit deceiving. With Cavalier and Skirmisher, the Skirms and the Arbs that Tatoh has will just get wiped up. They'll have no chance. And Viper will also get this relic. Well, he hasn't scouted that relic or that gold, but I don't think he'll need it. All Viper needs is to have the Cavalier in front of this engagement, and he'll save his castle. Tato's Arbs and Skirms, they have a decision to make now. Because if you sit next to the wood line, the Cavalier can't surround it, but then your opponent's Skirms are still there, so the best decision is probably to run. And Tatoh is not giving up. He's getting scale mail armor. The Zebra's still there, by the way. Scale mail armor. Perhaps thinking about going Karambits or Pikemen. But the lack of Horsecowl earlier is really hurting him. He has so many expired farms, does not have the wood remaining. In fact, it's getting tilting to hear so many farms expire, so I'm going to go to Viper's point of view. And yeah, he has the resources now. Interesting attack here from Tatoh, though. That will be short-lived, but surprised Viper. The issue with Pikeman is that it still dies to Skirms. At the moment, Tatoh has no response to this composition. He would need to have Karambits with his Pikeman, or he needs to have a whole mess of Halbs, which I don't think he has the eco for right now. To be fair, Tato's map is pretty bad. Like, he ran out of wood in a lot of these areas, while Viper still has some. But you know, the players know the map, right? And oh, the surround from Viper with the Cavalier is huge. Pretty good. Now, his skirmishers are out of position there. So it could have been worse for Tatoh, but yeah, that's a big fight for Viper. And as expected, 170 plus, and yeah. Once Tatoh loses his army, he calls the GG.
Merry Christmas.
Excal, no Paladin for Portuguese. They don't need it, though. Good game. I mean, could have been better from both players, right? Viper was sloppy. Tatoh was sloppy, but a very entertaining game to say the least. Again, I think this comes down to the early Castle Age moment where Viper was able to have that comeback. If Tatoh had that 12 villager lead, I think that he would have had enough economy to make enough units to deal with the Orjan Guns or the Orjan Guns and then stop that forward castle. But ultimately what it came down to was once they were on even eco, Viper had a stronger unit, and Viper, he just needed the crucial number of them. Eventually got there, right? And then they started to die off, but at that point he gained so many advantages. He had more eco, he had more map control, and then he transitioned nicely into Cavalier and Skirms, and that's always going to win there. Yeah, I mean, and farm upgrades from Tatoh. Like, honestly, I'm pretty certain Tatoh wins this game if he doesn't let Viper waltz right in and kill half of his economy in early Castle Age. Like, Tatoh had more military there. He just was out of position. And then the lack of horsecowl really hurts too, man. Like, Tatoh probably would have had a ton more food. He actually had more wood collected than Viper, so imagine if he invested in the same amount of farms as he did this game, but he had horsecollar and heavy plow. It would have been able to save more wood for more buildings and more everything. Closest game we've seen today, though. That was pretty sick. If you do see this on YouTube, normally at this point I say, if you want to watch the whole series, you can check the video description for the whole series. But this is just a rated game, so I guess, hello YouTube. If you're interested in checking out the Twitch stream in the future, the Twitch link is below in the video description. We'll sign off with that.